Hi everyone, so I had someone in my last video asking if I could do a review of Lang Lang playing Don Giovanni of Mozart, Liszt version. And I said actually I was just thinking about doing this before, so I thought I would do it. One, because I like Lang Lang, although I said some stuff in one of the last videos saying I'm not a huge fan of certain stuff he's doing now. But actually at this time, so this video is his debut in Carnegie Hall, I think it's in 2003. And I was shocked by this video when I saw it, in a positive way. I thought it's just incredible, and I think the whole world was. So it's worth talking about. So let's see the beginning just. So already there, well, it's a fantastic hall, you can see, it's beautiful. He has this kind of very relaxed way of coming on stage, and I have a student who went to a concert of his, I think last month, and she said exactly the same. He has this very good mood, smiling, feeling home, looks like he's feeling home, and he confirmed this in interviews. He really likes to be on stage, which makes, of course, a big plus when you are doing a lot of concerts. Also knowing he get this applause because his recital is finished, I think, or almost finished. I think it was one of the last pieces, or maybe even an encore. So I never played this piece, but I read it sometimes, and the way he starts is, I think, well, many pianists start this maybe a bit too fast, and I would be tempted to start it a bit too fast also. So he's doing it a bit slow, and he's exaggerating the weight on every chord, like. And then he's exaggerating these things. Fingers, which is actually a good idea, because it's really like making this huge crescendo going to this chord here, right? And as I said, he's like really putting this big sound, like all the weight in each chord. Also, this should be like this very quick, tense, nervous trill. You should not try to have it like sounding nice or regular or anything. It should be like crazy. It doesn't have to be every note. Then the same. Yeah, doing the same. He has an incredible piano, which it's obvious in Carnegie Hall. You probably have the best piano there is. So he's doing the same. Also, another thing, noticing what you typically do in these kind of pieces or in this kind of music is you have this rhythm here, which is a dotted 8 and a 16. In this kind of music, when you want to exaggerate stuff, you tend to make the 16 coming a bit later. So instead of doing, which would be rhythmically correct, you do it slightly later. Sorry. So exaggerating this 16 notes to make it come out, like make it even faster, creates even more tension and accuracy. So there I would be tempted, because that's a bit boring. Right? You would think, okay, I don't want to spend a lot of time it's just arpeggio will sound boring. So my idea in Liszt is always to try to get this stuff as light and as fast as possible, to just have the effect and not the arpeggio effect. Another thing I have to say at this point, that's one of the main critics in Liszt, by the way. It's like he has a lot of octave scales, arpeggios and stuff like this, and people tend to not like this side from Liszt. But I have a piano here right next to me that you can see in some videos. That's the kind of piano Liszt had when he was in the 70s, when he was like 60. And even earlier piano, this piano sounds less strong, they are less powerful. The sound also stays less long, and then you understand these kind of effects. Then it makes sense, because it's a way to bring the piano to sound you cannot do in any other way. You need to create a volume of note in order to have a volume of sound. The modern piano doesn't need so much to create sound. I mean, just a chord like this will sound strong and long enough. You don't need to add arpeggios. So that's the reason why Liszt add this stuff all the time. And you have to play this knowing this, because then you will, as I just said before, play it a bit faster, a bit lighter, so that you don't need to accentuate this. So he's just taking another, he's just playing it another way, which actually I like too. And it's again closer to the opera, because the opera has this, it's starting with the ending. I think it's not, for sure it's not the beginning. Starting with this ending where Don Giovanni, I think, is facing the devil. He's saying him he will go to hell or something. He will pay for his sins. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't know this very well. So Liszt is starting with this very dramatic part, and Lang Lang is creating this dramatic part by making this kind of stuff getting a huge sound. So that he's doing the same as what he's doing since the beginning here. Try to get the sound and then say. So we know that Lang Lang, when he was a kid, was practicing a lot. There's a biography that I was reading once from Lang Lang where he's explaining he practiced, I think, 3 hours before school and 3 hours after school. That's 6 hours for a kid. That's just like incredible. It's incredible how much he was practicing as a kid. It got incredible results. He became the best pianist ever. Now, some people don't get there and get depressed or get problems or can get bad stories, like if you are pushed to do so much. But he apparently was someone who could manage and maybe got even better with pressure. But since not everyone is like this, well, that's one of the reason I'm talking about this. It's people need motivation, they need help with this, and that's the reason number one why I created an app. I saw all my students struggling with motivation. I've online a lot of people asking me how you stay motivated, how you practice every day. One of the best way to stay motivated, it's tracking your practice, looking at your statistics, having a social element, not practicing alone, like you can share your recordings. This will come later on the app. You can share your recordings, people will like it. You can see, you have this competition leaderboard, you have these weekly leagues, all this stuff. You have badges coming very soon also on the app. All this stuff helps you make it a bit more fun, and you will practice probably a bit more. For sure you'll practice a bit more. So I'm using it, students are using it. I can see some people don't like it, but actually the time tracker on the app is the most used feature. There is also reading notes and there are also rhythm. A lot of people use this too, but the number one is the tracking time. And it's one of the most important, because at the end, your instrument you have to practice. So try it out. There's a lot of stuff on the app. I cannot explain everything that's on it. There's recording, there is daily tip, there is blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of stuff. Try it out. There is a free version. There is a premium version. It's not so expensive. It's on Android and iOS, and the link is in my biography on Linktree. There you have the link to the website, and there you can download the app. Let's go back to the video. The thing also is, you think he's already getting so tense just in the beginning. What will come later, right? How will he build this huge piece, because it's very long? Nice sound. So one of the things that I don't like with Lang Lang is his exaggerating of faces and everything. But I don't like it in general, and I think today he's doing it a bit too much. There it was still like kind of moderate, and actually some are really fun. Like there he's getting like in a trance, which is actually a bit also what's happening in the music. You get like this super tense diminished 7 chords that's transporting him in another world, right? So it's like, and it's indeed another world, because it's getting close to hell, right? one of the places though that tends to be quite boring, because people tend to play these at the same speed from the beginning of these octaves until the end, and doing, and that's getting heavy boring, right? So he is again doing the perfect approach is to get this excitement rolling and to accelerate the octave scales or chromatic scales, right? Like, and he has a great octave scale. So that's one of the things I was a bit shocked, because again I would be tended to do a bit faster. But actually he's doing it exactly in beat, and he's doing this declamation indication there, which is probably what you can hear in the opera. So also one thing I would suggest, of course, is if you practice this kind of piece, and I didn't, go listen to the opera and try to listen how it's with singers, with orchestra, and at the end you want to try to imitate this, right? So this kind of passage, if you never heard the opera like I did, I mean I heard the opera but not as precise as this, you probably will miss the goal or miss the intention, and he clearly did the work, because it's sounding very operatic. And it doesn't matter if that's long, because it's creating again like a tension element, and then another remarkable thing is his thirds. That's also through the whole piece. There's a lot of thirds, chromatic thirds, which are very difficult to get, and he's doing this at such a speed and sparkling. It's very interesting. These chromatic scales also he's getting through a very playful light mode. So that's one of the tricky places, one of the many tricky places, and it sounds that's again is the thing. This would sound super boring if you just are doing exercise. If you go through like this, it gets super boring. If you try to get these longer lines, so this is probably he practiced a lot, and if you practice a lot of exercise, of course, this helps also. And then this super light and precise, very nice. Then, of course, comes the first melodic theme. A little fun side note, just like slowing it down, making it a bit unpredictable. It's making a bit a joke out of it. So that's he's doing this also very well. Like it's very melodic. The middle voice is coming out perfectly. Like very often in Liszt actually. Doing melodies with the thumbs is something Liszt also maybe not developed but pushed a lot. And again, one of the main reasons probably he did this, I suspect, because again, since I was playing on this piano, I have one at home, I'm experimenting a lot of stuff, and playing this kind of stuff also you realize, because it's like straight strings compared to Steinway who has cross strings, the cross strings make this more mixed homogeneous sound, so the notes here, or there would get the same kind of quality and same kind of sound. And on such a piano, you can clearly hear the difference. It's a very soft and singing sound in the middle. It gets a bit weaker and, let's say, felt sound in the lower, and then it's a quite breakable, sensible like sound in the high. So you clearly have different registers in these pianos, and Liszt choosing the melody in the middle makes you see he choose the kind of sound he wants to have for this melody. Otherwise, he would have put it probably on the higher. And if you move it from there to there later, you have two different qualities of sound, which also imitates the orchestra. Or would you have the oboe playing something and then the flute playing something? You would have a different kind of sound. So this is all very light and fun, like very melodic, like he can do. Let's see what's. So you see again here, this sound quality didn't really change. It's the pianist who has to make this quality, and it's not a huge quality and a huge difference. On a piano like an Erard, you would directly hear a difference. So that's a whole dialogue, I think, in the opera where you have like an upper voice answering a lower voice, and he's doing this perfectly. That's another part. Always super playful, super fun, perfect character. I think, by the way, he just missed something there. Yeah, I think he missed something there, but whatever. So there I would say that's probably one of the eccentricity of Lang Lang. So it's not. Where is it actually? So there is no. He's doing the kind of staccato or this kind of small marcato, and that's not written. It's probably more legato. And also the opera version, if a singer sings this, it would be less like this short staccato, which he decided to do, which you can qualify as an eccentricity and not following the score, or maybe it's some score it's written, but I don't think so. And yeah, it's one of the things where you can, of course, you can debate if it's a good idea to do, if you like it or not, but I think it followed just his mood he started with, like a playful against dramatic. And by the way, that's also the known Mozart characteristic, right? Mozart was known to be like a bit a child for most of stuff, but then very serious when it came to music. And you can see he's in his Don Giovanni, it's a very serious theme, it's very dramatic, like it's death, it's like terrible themes. And then it gets super fun at some places, right? And I think Lang Lang got this, understood this character, and is just exaggerating the mood. So he exaggerated the drama before, and in the same way he's just exaggerating the playfulness now by doing this staccato that's not written. So there again, I thought, wow, he's like really exaggerating this. It's so fast, he's doing like almost like one thing. But then I just saw it's written veloce glissando, so it should sound like something like this, right? Like a glissando, and he's doing this. Yeah, super light, super nice. So let's go to some other places. What else? There again, it's something I said about Horowitz also, like that Horowitz was famous for his octaves. But the pianist said about this that actually what people were fascinated by is not that he played super fast octaves, it's that he was playing octaves faster than he could. and still managing, right? You could feel it was on the limit of failing, of getting wrong. And you feel this in this place with Lang Lang too. He's getting on the limit of his speed, but then he's pushing it even further, so it gets even more exciting. So and there comes, I think, the only impossible place in Liszt piece, and that's happening in many Liszt pieces. So there are places in Liszt where it doesn't matter how much you practice, how good you are, how fantastic pianist you are, you will miss notes. It's just impossible to get clean. And it's just confirmed here. Lang Lang is probably one of the technical most advanced or gifted pianist, or practice the most, and he doesn't get this clean, and I don't think anyone can. Or you have to play it super slow and safe, and that's super boring. Right? The reason being, you go, what is this again? So you get a distance of two octaves and a sixth, which at speed, and then one hand would maybe work. It's worse than Campanella. Campanella has smaller jumps, but it's both hands, so there's no way you can get this clean, right? So, but still, actually perfect. This lightness, always this lightness you need in scales and chromatic stuff in Liszt. He's doing it, except when he wants to do it differently for certain goals. But there, every time it's like these scales or this chromatic scale. It's always light and fun, and that makes the piece nice, interesting. So it's probably also one of the worst places of the piece because of this chromatic thirds going up and down, and these chords on the left. One thing I like a bit less was his chromatic scales before. I think like people like Volodos or so get this kind of chromatic scales much smoother and nicer. He didn't get it, maybe, I don't know what was his goal there, but it sounded a bit percussive. Maybe this was his goal, I don't know. This was less convincing to me, but that's a detail. And then we come to the end theme, which actually is a very difficult thing. Well, here it's actually. What is it? Like. So the difficulty is you have this, and you have to repeat this. And in speed, you will tend to lose the second one. You will tend to have this. So repeating this one is actually a tricky thing at speed. So this was actually, I mean, this was hilarious, and I'm so happy it's hilarious actually, because that's again one of the things that's super boring in Liszt. Like a scale in octaves with thirds, like, I mean, and it's even a scale with flats and sharps, so it's not like you can stay on white notes. It would be more easy, of course. So you have sometimes this black note coming in it, and then you have a chromatic scales at the end. So So if you want to get this safe, it would be like extremely boring, and the way he did it again was like pushing it to the limits where everything think whatever what the F is he doing, right? And that's what you should have in these kind of pieces. Yeah, so there comes actually the real ending. Before it was a kind of preparation. And again, this one is a difficult one because you have... You see, I missed the second one if I'm not careful. So it's really difficult to repeat the second one. But there is another problem, is this left hand here. So one, you have this jump, and then you have like third. And it would be easy to do like this, but it's like double notes each time at the left hand makes it just super complicated. That's so tricky, this digit. Yeah, it's one you probably tend to miss a lot. It was really fun and perfect. There he just added an octave, like. Adding an octave at the end, which is a fun idea. So I said in the beginning, he's like already so tense in the beginning. How will it be at the end? Well, it's even more. He's pushing the limit of tension there, like making the piano break almost. Like also the legend was Liszt was breaking pianos. Well, these pianos, I'm not sure they're less strong, but for sure these one are heavy pianos. Like they're built differently. Probably the pianos from the 1830s they would break with such pieces because it's just too many stuff, and they were not built maybe so strong as the one of today. Like, what I wanted to say with this, you really feel the piano is on the limit of breaking. It's reaching the limits of the piano. So there again, you think you're not prepared for what he would just do, and then it's just such a shock, and it's such a fun way to do it that it's making it fun to listen. It's just incredible. You think he would slow down a bit here, because it's just like the worst place where you will just miss all the notes, and he's doing it and get actually most of them really nice, really correct. Incredible. I think the success is just like really. So that's maybe the best version of a Liszt transcription there is, or there was. You have Zoltán Kocksis playing Norma, which is also a quite exceptional version. Maybe I'm missing some. Like you have modern pianists who really come with great interpretations too. But like this is 100% the character of Liszt. Liszt was a guy of extremes, exaggerating. He was the guy who brought public to just jump from their chairs when he was finished playing something, and that's exactly what Lang Lang did. So it's 100% Lisztian version. I think it's just amazing and impressive. So that's one of the reasons I love Lang Lang, and that's why I think it's totally justified that he's the most famous pianist ever, probably after Liszt. Now the choices he makes later, yeah, whatever. Probably he's also a bit bored of, when you reach the success when you are super young, what do you do after? Well, you have to do other stuff, so that's probably what he's doing. And I heard a concert from him lately in Zurich too. He played the four scherzo. It was just impressive. Now I will not go to his concerts when he play in stadiums and he play like Disney stuff. Although I think it's a good idea, if he enjoyed doing it, he should do it for sure. I mean, who am I to say what he should do, right? That's not what I want to say. But yeah, just saying, it's an interesting pianist and very extreme pianist. He can go to stuff, I think it's very bad taste, to stuff that are absolutely perfect or never heard, right? It's like a new invention of piano when you listen to Lang Lang like this. So, hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think. I don't think there will be a lot of critics of these kind of videos, but there's a lot to learn definitely from such a video. Yeah.